Good afternoon, Ghanim. Welcome to Conversations with BrandKnew, published by ISD Global. Ghanim Alfalasi is the Senior Vice President of Technology and Entrepreneurship at DTech, Dubai Silicon Oasis. He is an astute visionary and an inspiring leader. And today we have an opportunity to actually pick up a conversation with him. So welcome again. Let me begin by asking you something about yourself, your background, your journey so far.
Well, yes, I've been through this several times trying to explain what is being a member of such development that happened in UAE. And I am from the 60s, so I've been seeing the before and after. And it is really amazing to experience this. Maybe the young generation did not have that kind of experience, but it is really the transition that happened to us from the 60s to the 80s, witnessing the speed of transformation. Like, let's talk about the TV. We were having the black and white TV. In no time, we had a color TV. So we were the early adopter always to the new transition of technology as we grow with the computer and all this. And in the 80s, I pursued my education in America. I was focusing to be a computer scientist. So I went to study in California there during that time, in the 80 peak timing. And during my language classes, I used to run and escape to go to the lab. It was a computer lab. And I started to be really experiencing to start coding and learning this one. So for me, how did I end up by computer science? I was really amazed about the digital science sign. There was one digital sign in Dubai, going in Al-Ittihad Road or Al-Wahda Road, and you see that sign. And I was really fascinated. I want to know how to do this one. So that led to me to go to San Francisco and study computer science. I did my art also and math as a minor. And my vision is to come here and establish something in that field. So started immediately in 1990, and I joined the military. So there was an opportunity to create a new IT. So that was my venture there, is to establish a new department for DSO. For the military. The experience is really fresh because I'm a fresh graduate and I am also the founder of an IT department. So it took us 8 years really to develop a new entity inside the army. And then something happened that made us really move forward with my career. So I jumped to the Dubai airport, and there in 2000 also I found a similar opportunity to create a new IT department for Dubai airport. So from 2000 to 2011, I'm also creating a new environment. And the airport infrastructure is very sophisticated. So it requires a lot of, let's say, wider scope when you're developing such strategy like that. So all these experiences led me to come to Dubai Silicon Oasis and start to be a corporate services. I was in charge of IT, strategy, business excellence, and HR. And then I start focusing only on being involved a lot with the human factor. And I was in charge of human people happiness department and innovation. So my role in the innovation is how to inject the innovation inside the corporates. So, and that was really for a few years until they got now the last opportunity here is to orchestrate and create the ecosystem for DSO and really be in charge also of enabling entrepreneurs in the region here. So that's a summary of almost a 33 years life experience, I will say, and it's just started. So it will never end. We keep growing and learning every time, and that's really my background.
That's well encapsulated, Ghanim. So what you're actually saying is you're endorsing that talent met opportunity.
Yeah. Yes.
in a way, right?
Yeah. Well, it evolved really by defining the way, the path, and what happened, and the accumulation of experiences really led to the right fit. And this is where I envision myself in really an eco maker more than really being very specific doer in something. I like to have the overall vision. This is what we learn from our leadership and how our direction that Dubai is growing and UAE, and because we lived the experience of the Emirates creation and the Dubai evolvement and all this, that really gave us the wide scope of seeing things in a different way. And our leadership always encouraged us to go and 10x things and have a great foresight. And that's why this, maybe you hardly see countries that have a 2071 vision. They will always go 10 years, 15 years, but that's really a bigger vision. And this is where it creates that kind of energy in us, even though if we will reach there or not, we don't know. But we make the ecosystem for that. So that's what really gives the excitement and the energy that we have it today.
Absolutely. So you spoke about vision. I believe you and team are working on a new vision for DSO. Would you want to give us a sneak peek into that?
Well, yes. I think DSO was created on a sand. Okay, so this was a desert 15 years ago, and the mission was to create a technology environment and a hub to nurture technology from Dubai to the world. So the 15 years was the creation of the infrastructure. The strategy was to attract companies to be established here. That's happening on the go. But I think the challenge now is defining a new value proposition, the unique value proposition for this place is what I put it in a simple formula, like a chemical formula. It's called O2V. So we are an oasis, but we want to be a valley. So we're not really trying to just change our name as a valley, but we are building the missing component of the valley and make it part of our ecosystem here. So the vision is all about what is the proposal that we can give to Dubai, to UAE, and the region here, that DSO can be the living lab, and the living lab for the latest technology that is not endorsed yet. So you can come and really with the latest technology that you just invented, and you want to have a plug and play environment for your technology. That's what we are creating here. We're creating a sandbox, a bigger sandbox. We are, just to give you a figure of DSO, we are 7 square kilometers. It's a city within a city. So you have all the components that enable you to test your latest technology. So we have from nursery to university, we have hospital, malls, and really residential area. So it's the place or the integrated community for a potential to be an environment or a lab for any kind of technologies in the region. I would not say in the city only. So any unregulated solutions or technology can come here, and we facilitate the desired environment for it to be there. Second is, in order to do all this and be a good attraction point, we create something called underground technology hubs, which is really the fundamental or the foundation of the living lab. You will have sub-ecosystem taken from the Industry 4.0. So like unmanned vehicle is a sub-ecosystem, and the ecosystem is really consists of big companies, an FDI company, and startup, hobbyist, university student, R&D labs, or what we call it R&BD lab, which is we need the business development. That's to complete the chain here. All this will be part of the ecosystem that we are creating. If you take that one, apply it on other verticals in the technology, like blockchain, AI, IoT, all these will be part of it. Now we are creating a circular of economy. All this combined together will really result in a big data pool of as a hub, which will result in creating an environment that can be used to build the next vision, which we are now, as we are evolving, we've been chosen to be the center of innovation and technology, innovation and knowledge. So we are taking that responsibility to create environment for the knowledge to be created, for the innovation to be really tested, and really launch it to the market outside. So that's in a nutshell what we are doing, and we are inviting the partnership between private and public and governmental and academia to be combined together in one platform or one stage, let's say, to be really orchestrated.
That's a grand vision, and all the very best with that. And I love the term that you use, living lab.
Yeah.
Okay, which is probably inspiring our next question. Technology and human.
Yes.
What do you reckon is the role that technology plays in the psychological evolution of the human?
Well, I think there is a misperception here, and we always have like a contradiction here, that technology will overtake human role and responsibility. Actually, I see there is a potential of human evolvement into a new venture or a new role that will give them more happiness in their life also. So they will be the brain of the technology. They will be using on the cognitive ability more than really the physical ability, which leverage the potential of humankind to do more and more in that sense. So
it's more human with technology rather than before or after, right?
Yes, there is no before and after, and there is no, these movies that scare you that the robot or the humanoid will take over. No, I think it will create a good synchronization for us, and we will leverage that one into having a better life. Really, let's say the era of really having the maximum utilization of human potential. So that will be there, because now we are keeping people busy with the physical, that they never tapped into their ability on the mental. So there will be a lot of mental development, a lot of activities that will take what we can really extract from the human brains more than the body and the muscle. Because the humanoid or whatever robotic arms that created, that does the job for you. But who are behind this one will be the real people who will be creating this kind of environment.
That leads me to the next question. You mentioned about human potential. DSO is very, very strategically located. It's right next to DISC, and it's by design, I presume.
Yeah.
Do you think, like it has happened back in the Silicon Valley, DSO has been able to leverage the geographical access and the vast pool of student human capital and intelligence and energy that is available?
Well, we are in the making, I say. Even if 15 years is not enough to create that kind of transition for building the ecosystem. Yes, we have a la carte, or we have ad hoc achievements here and there, but that's what we are after is really the velocity, the sustainability of such activities. We want to create that environment as a plug and play. So the university now is a really key element for us. The academia plays major role into the new innovation that we are trying to achieve. So what we are building with our ecosystem is really a seamless environment where it's a collaboration that happen not accidentally, but really in a very good format that will really bring people all together to innovate and forecast the future and create new things. So the youth will have the right place. And when I talk about the sub-ecosystem, you are a member of your preferred environment that you want to be in. If you are a student who are doing your study on unmanned vehicles, you will have that environment for you. You just plug and play, and that will lead you maybe to start your own venture, maybe will lead you to find an opportunity, partnership, or job. All this, we are creating it as an environment. In the past was mainly as a testing the weather, and sometime here, sometime there, but that did not fulfill the right vision that we want for DSO. And the vision is really making it an environment that really self-sustain with a full velocity, and things will come by default after that. So if I will take a quote, is really we are copying the rainforest concept. So the rainforest concept is different than the farming concept. What you farm, you know what you're going to crop. And that's very simple unless the weather change. But the rainforest is all dependent on accidental growth. So sometimes a small weed might be the bigger potential unicorn for us. So this is what we are really building as a strategy here. The rainforest strategy, or the environment that we are creating, shouldn't be dictated by anybody. We should let it grow organically, and from there it will be including everybody together in that sense.
The rainforest concept is a very, very interesting analogy.
Yeah.
Kudos for your thought on that. Again, that naturally segues into our next question. Do you see Dubai or UAE becoming one of the strongest go-to come to destinations for technology? Do you see that potential inherent?
Yeah, I think it's happening only, not yet to happen. It's already happening, and because we are the early adaptation of any kind of things that happen around. Now, I will give an example for the blockchain strategy, the virtual asset strategy. All this is really immediately got adopted in Dubai, and the government or the leadership took the immediate initiatives to build the regulation around it and all that. So that's what keep us always on our toes, that we need to come up with something faster. And we proposing here that in this stage that DSO in the future will be the Mecca of technology. So that is the title that I'm giving.
Fantastic, all the very best.
Yes, so we want to push it in that way. And what's happening in the immediate timing now, a lot of companies, they prefer us than going to Europe or America because of what's happening, and the showcase that happened in front of them was Expo 2020. So that led to seeing a flood of technology coming to us here. And the simplicity of the regulation, by not saying simple, but the availability of adopting new regulation is open faster here. So the technology cannot wait for a long-term procedure.
Cannot be at the mercy of bureaucracy and red tape.
Exactly. So here, Dubai is more flexible for that. That's why it is adding that kind of advantage.
Absolutely. Probably you answered part of the next question, Ghanim, which is, if you look at the recent past, especially the last 4 or 5 years, there is a sizable traction in the startup, entrepreneurship, innovation, ecosystem in the Dubai, UAE, and in some parts of the region. What would you attribute that most to?
The vision of the leadership, for sure. They believe that the creation of such a, let's say, legacy is not made out of bricks. So, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, he sees that Dubai is based on the knowledge more than the buildings and whatever achieved as an infrastructure. That all led to what's happening now. The infrastructure was built in a purpose to attract and bring people to be really here and invest in this one. So now they realize the investment is not on this startup, on the infrastructure or the real estate. Now the investment is all with the humankind here.
Absolutely. So, technology products, solutions, services. Do you visualize, made in UAE or made in Dubai for the world happening?
Yes. Actually, the funny part is we heard somebody who want to move his manufacturing line from Asia because he thinks that if we put made in UAE, it will be good for Europe and America. So that makes me proud, really, by saying that only. So yes, especially in DSO here, we have a lot of really in the industrial area, a lot of manufacturing line like solar panel, like small circuit designing for sensors, for security cameras. We have a luxurious assembly line for cars in DSO. Actually, we have a company that print money here also. So, and we are doing all this made in DSO Dubai. So yes, made in UAE is it will be, or it is a brand that can take over in the world, really.
Yeah, I think it's a salute to the Dubai brand and the standing of the Dubai brand globally, wherein I think a made in UAE for the rest of the world becomes far more easily accepted and
Yes.
respected
Yes.
compared to some of the other geographies, you know. One question which I think there has been a lot of debate about, and a lot of debate has been going on till the cows come home,
Yeah.
is about technology. Is it a job enabler or a job eliminator?
Well, maybe I'm saying in the past question
Right,
about
right.
the dominant of technology. No, it is a job eliminator for jobs that is wasting time. You know, a repetitive task. I have an employee here. He will sit the whole day just uploading content. Now with the Ripper, I save time of this person. I can utilize him for something more beneficial for both of us. So instead of just, okay, please upload this one, and it takes him 15 days to do this. Now it takes 5 minutes by the robotic processing automation. So that's an example I'm giving you now. This person, he had a lot of potential other places. And this will enable companies to build some kind of entrepreneurship inside their organization because they have a luxury of time. So yes, that part is done it as a process. Now we need to leverage his brain, his capability into something that will venture us into something new. So I believe that technology is really helping and growing, creating more domains for human. Now, they demand a lot of vocational education for coding. A lot of coding companies, academic or institutes started because there is huge demand on coding. You know, so a secretary might change her career totally by learning in 6 months how to become a good programmer.
Yeah.
So technology now opened the door for more demand for data analytics, for smart city solutions, for things that require human intervention. So I think new jobs are created, new potential is there based on that built by the technology.
It is definitely a metamorphosis, like
Yeah.
the snake shedding its skin to get something new.
Exactly.
So it is not total elimination, it is
No,
actually
no.
eliminating and adding, eliminating and adding. You know?
Yeah, whereas the obstacle is to cope up with the change from the academia. That's the challenge. The academia sticks on certain pillars and they think this is the right way to do, while the
Conveniently crafted as curriculum.
yes, and this is a challenge. And I play this role as an advisory board member for RIT and for Herotwat and other universities, and we always see the match between, or the correlation between the industry and the academia, and we see the difference, and we want to bring them together. We have a data analytic program now for master degree in RIT. And in order for us to really make this one beneficial for them, we need to bring them in a real life stories and make them really test the data physically in the real environment and to make sense of it. That's the education. Now, I think the education format in total need to change. We cannot stick with the 12 years. We cannot stick with the grading system. A new revolution of education system need to happen. And I think there is great potential to discover or unleash from year 10. For our kids, they can be programmers, they can be designers, they can be a lot of things. And then you can have created an early path for everyone from that age. And from there, we can discover the talent and the entrepreneur in that age. And this is my mission also in life, is to create multiple options for the young generation to choose. Shall I go to be in the academia all the path, or I become an entrepreneur, or I become an employee? That's really should be an early decision or an early detector solution to define where we want the next generation to go. to fulfill the demand that will come in the future.
Absolutely. I think what you're endorsing is that, as we say internally, 10 is the new 20, 20 is the new 40.
Exactly.
You don't have to wait till you're gray at the temples and,
Exactly.
to do what you want to do.
This is the challenge, really. I mean, and this is where you want everything to be mobilized for the future.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, Ghanim, I know you're very busy. The last question that I wanted to ask you was that, would you want to share some of your personal experiences of people that have really, truly inspired you?
Well, I mean, I can take both of them as a professional thing also, because that would create the
person becomes a professional.
Yes, the inside of you. If I take it from a real professional way of seeing and being blessed to live in such a country with the right leadership, and the vision of the leadership really inspired us that we need to also to pay back to this vision and be a contributor also. So I always take that as a responsibility on me. I said, if His Highness is leading to this, what is my contribution, or what is my role in this thing? So I want always to play that part. I want always to have a stone to be placed there to build that kind of pyramid that our leader want to create and leave a legacy. So from this experience, I always relate to Sheikh Muhammad. May Allah give him all the success and a long life to produce more, inshallah. And also, I have a very personal relation or experience that encouraged me since 1998, my past mom. She is a typical mom. She is really took care of 10 kids until she got a stroke in her brain, and she was paralyzed, half paralyzed, and lost the ability to talk. The experience on 98 is really, we took her to Germany and they gave her art therapy. So she took the brush and started painting with the left hand. And that's not the real inspiration. It's really the beginning of it, discovering she is the artist. And we are artists. We come from an artistic family, but we never knew that she had that potential inside her. She was a typical, local mom. That brush,
God bless her,
in her heaven, inshallah, she took 14 years to pass a message to us, to inspire us that nothing can stop you and you can achieve what you want to achieve. So every week I go to visit her. She had really a pack of paintings under her mattress. And she's on a wheelchair, so she spent hours in paint. And when I came to compare myself with my achievement, I said, what did I contribute? She's leaving a legacy and she is really doing something, and me, nothing. So from there, I promised myself that if I have a thought, I have to translate it into action and see the value of it. If it's good, we'll continue. If not, I keep it aside, start all over again. So I don't stop ideas from really to be tested. So this is really an advice. It's a message to everybody. Don't really leave anything in your brain. Try to extract it. And I will refer back to a book called Die Empty.
Todd Henry?
Yes, you read that, huh?
Yeah.
So that one who talks about the most expensive land on earth, and people will guess it's Dubai, but no, it is the graveyard, because hundreds and hundreds of people who had dreams, hope, ideas that could result into something good for humanity was not really achieved, based on their thinking that, oh, it's not me, I cannot do this one. So that's where we are encouraging youth and really anybody who is having thoughts, really extract it, take it out, let people see it and evaluate it. If it's the right time, it will happen. If not, maybe it will be taken later. So this is what I learned. I learned to just extract and throw. Let it grow, and maybe it's not the right time for it now. And this is my advice to everybody, really.
Thank you so much, Ghanim. It was a stimulating conversation.
My pleasure.
All the very best.
My
Take
pleasure.
care.
Thank you.